Hello everyone, I am Renowned Zero, and of course we are back again talking about Airrick from Airrick Debunks, who decided to make this whole big video based around some tweets that the Rippaverse Goalposts account decided to put out, simply saying to have a discussion with a comic pro that had some questionable things to say about Air July's comic. Now, I'm no big artist or anything, but judging by the comics you look like you're putting out for children, it looked pretty terrible versus the artwork from Isom. But of course, this man believes that everybody who defends Airrick is somehow responsible for the actions of the fans or people that watch him, which is just the farthest thing from the truth. So we're gonna go ahead and react to this. I'll show you some tweets from Nick Davis himself, making some questionable threats. As he likes to say, other people are making threats, but he's the one really making threats. So let's jump right into this clip.
Hey, what's up everybody, Airrick here, and in this video I'm going to do something that I don't like doing, and that is talking about dumbass sock accounts on Twitter.
So first mistake, you cursed in your first 10 seconds of your video, essentially. And you're calling Rippaverse Goalposts a sock account, which he is not. A sock account is a secondary account that someone uses. These are the same type of people who believe that Airrick is running the Rippaverse Goalposts account. I'm pretty sure Airrick July has way more important things to be doing right now than being on a second account praising himself. I don't think that to be the case. Let me just raise the volume.
And the rate. One of the things that I said that this account, Rippaverse Goalposts, which we'll talk about them in just a second, has harassed me about, is that the language and the content that these channels make incite real-world harassment and violence against people.
Here's what's not happening. This is on Twitter. This isn't a channel. Y'all are the ones that want to indoctrinate children with these trans kids nonsense, right? All this account has simply said was to discuss, meaning have a conversation with the person. It didn't say anything about physical harm or anything like that. He basically pointed out that this person decided to talk a bunch of noise about a comic creator, a fellow comic creator, and he had a lot of nasty things to say about Airrick July. Now, this would be a simple thing that Airrick would do. He would, if he finds out that someone's at a convention, he'd have a discussion with them and handle their gripes like men. He's said this multiple times. This isn't a new thing. However, he has never said anything about getting physical with anybody, ever, which is what these people like to believe. It's pussies like these, like this guy, who see you wanting to have a simple discussion with people as harassment. That is not harassment. What y'all do is harass people. What y'all do is try to bite at the ankles of more successful YouTubers. This is what y'all do.
A Rippaverse Goalposts is an account in the title where it says Rippaverse, but over on the side there you'll see it says it's not affiliated with Rippaverse, but we don't know that. We have no
They're not.
proof because it's a sock account.
It's not a sock account. A sock account would mean that Airrick is controlling the account, which he is not. That is what a sock account is.
It's a troll account, so we don't know who it could be. Anybody.
Yeah, it's not Airrick. I mean, it's not a sock account. It's only a sock account again if it's Airrick doing it.
Anybody could be running this account, but they're saying they're not. That's a legal thing, and there's a couple of other legal things here that I think they're doing to try and sort of skate around to make sure they don't get in trouble for anything. But
no, they're really not. Now, the tweets that he is referring to, of course, are the ones down here where he says, "Are any of you going to Three Rivers Comic Con on June 3rd? Quote-unquote comic pro Nick Davis wants you to find his booth. You guys can discuss all the lovely comments he made about Airrick July, Rippaverse, and Chuck Dixon. Screenshots below." So he provides the evidence to the disgusting things that he says about Airrick. Right? This highlights Airrick's biggest problem. He has all this seed money to really run with his book, but the CG audience he has been playing to there are no quality creatives. So apparently Chuck Dixon's not a quality creative. Apparently EVS isn't a quality creative. Apparently Shane Davis isn't, right? But if we take a look at your artwork's pretty terrible. Just the grifters, and no one outside CG would touch him because of his stances. Incorrect, considering that he's been in talks with Chuck Dixon, Graham Nolan, EVS, Shane Davis, John Malin. That's definitely not true. He's not a grifter because he's not scamming people out of a product. He's selling a product, he's produced a product, he's shipped the product, people have received the product. So for you to call him a grifter, you're just 100% wrong. Oh yeah, Doug, I make comics. This is just a small selection of what I have published in the last 3 years on a shoestring budget. What's your excuse? What's Airrick's excuse now? 8 months and counting and only just announcing a writer? That is sad, Doug, sad. Yes, Airrick is a independent guy who is publishing, distributing, and writing his business, right? He's writing the book, he's distributing the book, he's selling the book through his own website. He's not publishing through a major distributor where he can get the comic out quicker. He has to hire people in order to pack up the boxes to ship out the product. Again, judging by your artwork here, this looks like absolute shit compared to anything that we've seen from ISOM. Literally anything we see from ISOM. And you're not pumping, I'm pretty sure you're not pumping out 96-page graphic novels. These are children's books, so obviously they're not going to be anywhere near as long as a graphic novel. All the adventure you'll ever need with Night Guardians, yeah, so again, this is his booth. Again, I'll say it, don't harass him, but you can have a discussion with him. It's not illegal. It's not illegal. So let's continue with this video.
But Rippaverse Goalposts was originally created, I think, to call people out for, changes in opinions about Airrick July's comic books. Now,
It was originally made to talk about the goalpost shifts that people would make, similar to like, oh, it's never coming out. Oh, the warehouse is fake. Oh, it's now delayed. Blah blah blah. This is what the account was originally created for, and now it's used as a way to show how disingenuous people can be talking about the Rippaverse. Has nothing to do with criticisms that Airrick July can't handle himself. It has to do with the fact that people talk a bunch of noise and say a bunch of false things about this book, and they take a bunch of criticism up with Airrick that they don't do with normal mainstream comics. That's what it was for.
Care about his comics. I barely ever talk about his comic books.
But here you are, talking about Airrick July and his fans.
That's what this account, I think, was originally intended to be.
No, I just told you exactly what it was. You don't know shit because you don't pay attention to shit. You hang around. Once again, I will continue to remind people who you hang around. You hang around Dane from Actual Fandom. You hang around Bob from Organized Chaos. You hang around Turf Nation. And you hang around that other weirdo that called Airrick July a bunch of racial slurs. Everyone in your group has called Airrick July some type of racial slur, and you continue to hang around those people, so obviously you're influenced by stupidity and idiocy.
But now it's just become an account that collects criticism of Airrick July and other people.
False criticism and fake trolling, concern trolling.
And then puts them on blast to get more people to go and harass the opinions of just content creators. And
this isn't harassment, by the way. Again, pussies like you who paint their beard different colors of the rainbow, like the total bitch you are, full of soy, don't understand the difference between a discussion and actual harassment.
He's a comic book creator.
It's like these motherfuckers have never had any actual confrontation in their lives. It's like words on the internet offend you. Words on the internet are violence to you.
Says, are you going to the Three Rivers Comic-Con on June 3rd? Comic pro Nick Davis wants you to find his booth. Interesting. You guys...
He literally makes a video saying, come find my booth.
Can discuss all the lovely comments he made about Airrick July, Rippaverse, and Chuck Dixon. Screenshots below.
which I've already shown you, the nasty things and things that he said about Airrick's comic. Complaining about, I guess, delays, I guess.
That is
no incitement of harassment or violence anywhere.
inciting harassment.
No, it is not. It is inciting you to discuss and debate. Not harassment.
Against Nick Davis while he's going to be at a convention with a lot of people just hanging out there, you know.
Ain't nobody gonna be by this man's booth. No.
Enjoying their day. He's trying to run a business. They're inciting followers of Airrick July and Chuck Dixon to go and harass this person in
No, they are not.
real life.
Again, it's like these people have never been confronted about their shitty opinions ever. They really think that people are going to go attack him at a convention. At a convention in front of hundreds of thousands of people. That's really going to happen. And again, Airrick has no control over what any of his fans do. And he has no responsibility to whatever his fans do. Zero. And when he says, from now on, when I make videos saying that what Airrick July does and what these channels do leads to real-world harassment or possibly real-world violence, this is proof. No. This is proof of you being a total pussy who doesn't understand how real-world life discussions work. Seems like you've never had a real-life confrontation from people talking shit. And, again, you're a total pussy.
Of him, right? And, yeah. So this is them inciting real-world harassment to someone because they did not like Airrick July's comic book.
No, this is someone who openly has talked a bunch of shit about somebody's work. That wasn't regurgitated. It wasn't started by Airrick. Airrick didn't go to this person and talk a bunch of noise about the comics he's making. He decided to come out of pocket and talk a bunch of shit about his work. And y'all are so used to not being confronted by people that you think this is actual harassment. It's very weird and very... I don't know what to say.
This is bad.
It's not bad in any way.
This is really bad. And this doesn't look good for Airrick July. Now, the last thing I want to say here is all of this fall on Airrick and Chuck? No.
None of it falls on Airrick or Chuck.
Obviously not.
This is the same type of rhetoric they use when it comes to people having a speech on a certain day and people doing certain things because someone said something that wasn't inciting anything.
Because at the end of the day, you can't really control what people are doing physically. You can't stop them from going out and doing things.
So you literally just said the opposite. So you can blame. So it's on Airrick and Chuck's shoulders that one of their fans does something, but you can't really control what they're doing. Again, oxymoron.
However, you can control what you're doing.
Okay. I can say water is wet, and someone can say no, it's not.
Which means you would denounce this. You would come out on social media and you would say, I do not condone this. Because keep in mind, Airrick July...
He doesn't actually have to do anything. Again, he has no control of what his fans do. And most of his fans don't actually care what other people say about his book.
Is aware of this account. Or Chuck Dixon, if he was aware of it, would come out and say he doesn't condone this. I don't want you going and harassing people in my name. Because that's what I would do.
That's because you have to always apologize for your audience. Although I have said in the past in previous videos that do not harass, do not interact with people's Twitter accounts or YouTube accounts. I say that all the time.
If somebody were actually sending people to harass someone because they criticize my videos...
That's just having a normal conversation. Again, it's not harassment. You keep using this word harassment to make it sound more severe than it actually is. Again, it's like you guys have never had any actual confrontation in your life and you've never experienced it before. So you think it's just harassment. You're just kind of trying to expand the definition of what harassment is.
I would feel responsible to say something about it.
Because you're a pussy.
He may have even responded to this guy. It's possible, because usually the Rippaverse Goalpost account engages with people that either Airrick has engaged with himself or has retweeted or something along those lines. So that may be the case. Either way, this is not okay.
No, this is actually perfectly fine. Having a civil conversation with someone is actually perfectly fine. It's just you weirdos think it's harassment.
As a content creator, I think it is important that Airrick or someone affiliated with Rippaverse comes out and says they don't condone this. This is not...
Oh, we don't condone having civil conversations. Do you see how stupid that sounds? Do you see how really stupid that sounds, dude? My God, you are an NPC and you are a brainlet.
Not cool. And it literally proves my point.
You're not proving anyone's point. No, your point is not proven. Because there's no incitement of harassment or violence here. So what point is it proving? It's none. There is no point that's being proven.
So from now on, when I make videos saying that what Airrick does and what these channels do leads to real-world harassment or possibly real-world violence, this is proof.
This isn't proof. This is, you know what this is proof of? How much of a pussy you are. That you feel that you can't be confronted on the bullshit shit talking that you do on the internet. That's literally what this proves. It proves that you can't handle you criticizing a product and then being approached about said criticism and hashing it out. Because again, you're a fucking pussy. You're full of soy and you look like a total bitch.
Also, if anything happens to this person, you better hope that there's no screenshot saved of this tweet. You're trying to cover your tracks. It's all fun and games right now, but if something...
I don't think the person running this account actually cares, because they know that they're not doing the things that you claim that they're doing.
Were to actually happen, this would not look good. So I would suggest that Rippaverse Goalpost deletes this tweet.
They're not gonna delete this tweet just because some weirdo bearded man who changes his beard color every couple days, who says he's queer, who claims to be queer, who claims that trans kids exist, is going to give him a suggestion as to what he should do with his life.
Or Airrick July comes out and denounces it.
He won't, because there isn't any type of harassment or violence being incited here.
That's the only way this can work.
No, it's just going to work the way it does.
Hey, what's up everybody? Airrick here, and
Sorry about that. So, it actually continued with Nick Davis actually responding. So, here's what Nick Davis himself had to say about this. Fair warning, remove this now, and any adverse action taken by anyone inspired by this post will be considered premeditated, and that makes it a bad legal idea for that person and for Airrick. And yes, child, I have all the screenshots. Well, that's good for you. Dude, I think you're projecting. Right off the rip, I think you're projecting. Which he is. He's projecting a bunch of crap. So, I mean, yeah, sure, bud. You can have all the screenshots you want. These people have screenshots too of the nonsense you've been saying about them as well. Just saying. Like, no one cares, bud. It's just you. Let's see if I have more here. I think I have some more. Oh, here, yes. Here it is. Oh my, if any of you have a civilized discussion with comic pro Nick Davis at a convention, then that means your free speech places Airrick July in, quote, legal jeopardy, and Nick will sue Airrick. This is from Laza, a furry, so don't really mind what they have to say. Oh look, Airrick July fans actively calling to harass a comic artist because he called them out. Airrick July fans are pretty much a cult. Yes, because again, civil discussion to them is harassment. This would be a mistake on their part. Not only am I a lot more rough around the edges than they think, so essentially tougher than I look is kind of what that means. But this counts as premeditation and puts any CG and Airrick in legal jeopardy. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. And of course, he screenshotted what he said, because again, we could do screenshots too. And where is it? I think it was, he's saying, here's the okay, are you threatening me, Mr. Davis? Right? And he responds by saying, no, a threat is what you posted. It's not a threat. It's them saying to have a civil discussion with you. There's no threats at all. And I have screenshots. Legal consequences of your actions going forward will be on you, Airrick. No, it won't. Be aware if physical threat, grammar, threatened by you or your cronies at this event or any future event, I will defend myself. So you're saying you're expecting people to physically harm you at a comic convention. Because that's how you think. You think anyone who wants to have a civil discussion with you is going to automatically throw some hands at a convention. Again, it's like these people, they say a bunch of shit on the internet and then expect you not to confront them about the shit that they say. And it could be as simple as having a civil discussion and they think you're going to somehow throw some hands or be violent with them when you could simply just talk to them. Then sue you, Airrick, for everything. Have a great day. This weirdo gif. It's probably one of his comics that looks absolutely trash, by the way. But these are the people that, Airrick and other content creators have to deal with. These sort of soy boy looking ass motherfuckers who think that because you're saying a bunch of noise on the internet that it's perfectly okay, and then they expect not to be confronted on it. So again, no one's inciting violence, no one's inciting harassment. They're simply saying to go have a discussion, which is something that Airrick July has always claimed to only do. Never put hands on people, because he doesn't believe in that, because he is a libertarian who believes in private ownership of yourself. So why would Airrick July go out of his way to ruin his reputation by putting his hands on somebody else rather than just having a civil discussion? But I digress here. That'll be all for today. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit that like button. Comment below what you feel about all this. Again, do not interact with anybody on any of these accounts. Keep all of your comments in the comment section down below. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Click on the bell and set the bell to all. That way you get notifications anytime I post a new video. And I will see you all on the next one. Peace.